meeting. Staff present this evening, Joe Schaefer, Director of Development and Zoning, and Paul Benson, the Deputy Zoning Inspector. Roll, Mr. Schaefer.
Roll call, Mr. Bernard.
Presence.
Mr. James. Here. Mr. Leff.
Here.
Mr. Teichman.
Present.
Ms. Van Howe.
Here.
And I'll also note that Mr. Adler is in attendance.
Statement of policy, this meeting may be recorded. Such recordings are public record, may be posted online, and could be subject to review in court. As is the adopted policy of the Zoning Commission, all applicants will be granted an opportunity to make their formal presentation. The audience may then be granted an opportunity to comment, followed by the applicant's response to questions from the commission. The chairperson may limit repetitive debate and reserves the following rights: to limit comment to items on the agenda, to limit public comment to 5 minutes per person, to restrict the number of times a member of public is permitted to speak, and to enact any other reasonable ad hoc protocols or measures necessary to maintain a fair, safe, and orderly meeting. This policy was adopted by the commission to provide for the respectful, constructive, and efficient discussion of business scheduled for consideration and to allow for proper due process as required by law. First item up are minutes from the last minute meeting.
I'm sorry, that should say January 12th, by the way.
Oh.
Okay.
The motion's correct, but the
Yeah.
agenda item's wrong.
I move to approve the January 12th, 2026 meeting minutes as presented.
I second.
Comments? Roll.
Mr. Bernard.
Yes.
Mr. James.
Yes.
Mr. Teichman.
Yes.
Ms. Van Howe.
Yes.
Mr. Leff.
Yes. Minutes are approved. Time is now 7:01, and I call this public hearing to get order. Elizabeth Ann Berlin Trust via Drew Berlin requesting approval of a zoning map amendment to rezone approximately 0.077 acres located in the northeast portion of 6870 Fleur Drive, PIN number 31724001013000, from planned residential district PRD to rural residential RR. This is zoning case number 2026-01. All those speaking on behalf of this, raise and be sworn in. You guys stand up, raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God? Thank you. Be seated. You might want to come up. The following exhibits will be updated A through H. Are you public or are you
That's Mr. Berlin.
Hi, you're Mr. Millen. Hi, I've never met you before. All right, exhibits A through H, which we read last time. We have Exhibit E now, which is the DCRPC recommendation made January 29th, 2026. The Exhibit F, the staff technical review dated January 5, 2026 for January 12, 2026 meeting. G, the staff memo dated January 5, 2026 for January 12 meeting. And H, all public comments received by the zoning department between December 5, 2026 and February 9, 2026. Mr. Schaefer.
Thank you. As you noted, this is a continued hearing. I'm going to dispense with reading the memorandum verbatim because this is a pretty simple one for me to cover, and I know the facts well off the top of my head. So, as you recall, approximately a year ago, almost to the day, the township settled the Courtyards of Big Walnut case, which rezoned that entire property, formerly known as the Lardo Tract, to planned residential district. That parcel is immediately adjacent to Mr. Berlin's parcel. As part of that process, there were discussions about Mr. Berlin was involved with some of those discussions, being an adjacent property owner, and the developer of the Courtyards of Big Walnut needing to work with him to secure some easements and whatnot to make the development happen. And also, Mr. Berlin secured an easement over to his property should he ever wish to do any kind of subdivision on his side of the property line. During the course of all of that, this little strip of land that you see on the drawing here did come into question, and when we asked the EPCOM folks about it, they said, oh, it's a deed overlap. And I said, well, are you counting it as part of is it part of this development? Are you counting it towards your open space and all that? And they said, yep. And I said, oh, okay. So we didn't really think much about it until last fall when they submitted the lot transfer application to regional planning that I got copied on. Now, the township doesn't review those or really approve them, but we just get notified that they're happening. And when I saw it come in, I said, well, what's going on here? I thought this strip of land was part of the PRD. Why are we doing a lot transfer over to Mr. Berlin? I thought this was water under the bridge. And essentially what it turned out was there was a deed overlap, but, and Mr. Berlin can go into the details because he knows it better than I do, but he actually has truly owned and had insurance on that sliver of land the entire time. So I think there must have been some sort of agreement or to clean this up in order for the Courtyards of Big Walnut project to go forward. They did the transfer to officially clean up the overlap and clear the books and get this lot officially over 100% over to Mr. Berlin, which again, it was sort of anyway, but they needed to do I think it was a quick claim deed or some type to just clear the paperwork on it. So the township didn't take any position on the lot transfer, but at that time I said, well, that's fine, but when Courtyards of Big Walnut comes to plat, we're gonna have an issue because now you've got a sliver of land that you said was gonna be part of the plat, that's not a part of the plat anymore. Even though it's a relatively insignificant sliver, it still doesn't match. And we're not talking about a case that the trustees approved, we're talking about a case that was approved by a federal judge, so it was sort of a big deal. So eventually Courtyards did wanna come in and plat, late fall, and we had to work with our attorneys to review it. And we consulted with the board, and they got their legal advice, and it was sort of determined that this little sliver of land not being in the plan did not significantly impact density, open space, setbacks, really anything, which we had already sort of knew, but we were able to prove. And it was ultimately decided that the best course of action was just for this property, just get to rezone back to RR, to clean it up, to clearly get on the record that we're not considering it part of the Courtyards of Big Walnut plan, even though it was originally shown as part of it. And that rezoning also helps Mr. Berlin because should he ever wish to do a subdivision of any sort, it was going to complicate things for him because he had dual zoning districts and there was this whole legal quagmire of which zoning district prevails. Is it part of the development plan? Is it not part of the development plan? So this will clean all of that up. So that's why he's here this evening. I talked to him, I guess, right before Thanksgiving, I think is when we talked about it. And he was agreeable that might as well just get it cleaned up now. He's not exactly 100% sure what his timeline is on anything he might want to do out there, but might as well just get it cleaned up now. So then it's, when he does decide, it's one less thing he has to worry about, and it's already done. So he submitted in early December, as we noted here. Because of just how, with the holidays and how regional planning schedule fell, they couldn't get on their December agenda, which is why it got pushed to January. And you're required to have received the regional planning recommendation, as you know, before you vote on it, which is why we ended up having to continue and are here this evening. So that's the, I guess, Reader's Digest version of the story. As noted in the memo, regional planning did review it. They had no issues with it. And as we sort of all suspected they would, they recommended approval of it. So that's the official word to you on that matter. So I really don't have anything else to discuss. So I'm going to turn it back over to you, Mr. Chairman.
Okay.
Drew, can you
Turn that, push the power button,
just push the button.
push the button and have that sitting right in front of you. There we
He
go.
did a great job explaining that. I sort of take responsibility for that. I should have been a little more diligent when the Epcot application was coming through. I've always owned it. I told him I owned it. Jeff Walker over at Talon Title backed it up, and so I sort of just stayed out of it thinking there's no way I got an issue. It's real simple. I just want it back to where it was, rural residential. And fortunately, Joe, who was, I think, in all the stuff he's got on his mind, I was fortunate enough that he was looking out for me. He said, "Hey, Drew, you might want to try to clean this up because it's a little housekeeping item, but I have no aggressive plans to do anything, which doesn't really matter here, but I just want it back to rural residential. So if in 10 years, 20 years, or 10 months I decide to do something, I don't have a hiccup." It's that simple, and I'm sorry I'm taking up your time on such a minor issue, but I'd like to get it
Gotta
back
do
to
it the right way.
RR1.
So, Thank you,
To his
thank
defense,
you for
though,
doing it the right
was,
way.
it was difficult for him to deal with it because obviously when you're in a federal case, he wasn't party to the federal case. So there was a lot of things, and he remembers all these conversations well, where we kept wanting to talk about things. And I said, we can't yet. I can't talk about anything. It's still a pending case. So some of it was just weird circumstances that we normally don't see. But we knew eventually it would all just get ironed out. It was just a matter of time.
Quick.
All right, public comments. Going once, going twice. All right, questions from the group? Thank you, by the way, for
Thank you
doing
for-
this and working with Joe and
Yeah, he's been
working
great
with the
with
time,
doing it.
so
Thanks.
we appreciate it. And
I move to recommend approval of the following to the Genoa Township Board of Trustees, the subject zoning map amendments, AKA rezoning application, including all plans and materials submitted by Elizabeth Ann Berlin Trust via Drew Berlin to rezone approximately 0.077 acres of property located at 6870 Fleur Drive, PIN 3172-400-1013-000, from planned residential PRD to rural residential RR, zoning case number 2026-01. This motion, incorporating exhibits A to H, this motion to recommend approval of the subject zoning map amendments, aka rezoning application, is based on the following findings of fact and conclusion. Said amendment is found to be consistent with the Genoa Township Comprehensive Plan pursuant to Section 108 of the Genoa Township Zoning Resolution.
I second.
Discussion, questions, comments? Roll.
Roll call, Mr. Bernert.
Yes.
Mr. James.
Yes.
Mr. Van Hal.
Yes.
Mr. Leff.
Yes, motion passes.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
very much. Thank you, Joe.
And I'll be in touch with you after tomorrow night.
The time is now 7:10 PM, and that will conclude that portion of the zoning meeting. We are now up to other business.
I don't have anything official to present to you. The trustees meet tomorrow night, 5 o'clock, to discuss further the omnibus amendment. With the election season, holiday season, as I told you at the last meeting, things sort of got slowed up, but now with the new year, we're picking it back up again. So we're hoping to really crunch through. I've made some additional revisions, sent them a lengthy memo. Some of them are very minute revisions where they wanted more consistency with things like how the revised code is cited and whatnot, and how the trustees are referred to in the document. So a lot of the changes just have to deal with that. But there are some other policy changes. I wouldn't call them major, but things that the board wanted to tackle, or maybe things that weren't really on our radar at that time, but have popped up since the trustees have had it. OTA was last week, and OTA always has a way of also sort of inspiring a couple of revisions to, again, nothing major that I think would be disagreeable to anyone, but stuff we just, dot I's, crossing T's. So should that get put to bed, once it's done, and if it's approved, I'll come back here and sort of give you an overall probably gist of here's what the board changed after you saw it so you can understand it. But obviously, if you're willing, the latest version of the document is online. And I have the memo I can provide to you if you want to see it that outlines more in specifics. Or you can just wait until it's adopted and we can rehash it then. So that's the only official update I have for you. Still waiting to see wait for Mira Luna to apply for final. I probably need to poke them a little bit. I think their 3 years is probably coming up by the end of this year. So I fully think that they're going to. I have no reason to doubt it. It took a long time for that sewer issue to get ironed up, and I know that project is now well underway, so I'd be surprised if we don't see something from them. But I'll remind them. I just saw Jim Mullen the other week, and I meant to mention it to him, but I think I forgot. So that's basically it.
Anything for us coming up next month?
No, today was the deadline. We have no applications. So unless you want to meet and chat about whatever, up to you.
Anybody got anything they want to talk about? No? So we do not need to have a meeting next month then.
Okay, we will strike it from the calendar.
That means our next meeting will be
That would be April
March,
13th.
13th. All right, so the next meeting will be Monday, April 13th, here in Township Hall. Do I have a motion?
I move to adjourn this meeting at 7:14 PM.
I second.
All in favor? Aye, opposed? Meeting concluded, 7:14 PM.